Class today we are going to be focusing on the upper back. I am so excited to teach this class today because during my planning and preparation for the class today I felt absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited to go through this with you today. A few things that you might want to have on hand as we're beginning: a wall nearby or something that you can put your feet on, such as a couch, an ottoman, anything like that. Or you can also do this with your feet on the floor in a bridge pose. I have 2 yoga blocks here, but if you have something equivalent in size, that would be really helpful because we're going to be using the blocks to offer some elevation for some of the fascia activations for today. And the last thing is a pillow for some things that we can do on the floor just for comfort for your neck. So take a moment to gather those. And we will start with a warm-up and we'll get going with everything. So with the upper back, there's a lot of ways to reach it. So we're going to be working in different areas of the body to get to those sticky, stuck, dense, icky feeling places. A lot of people have tension across the back or at the bra line if you are a female. And it's uncomfortable and it can be present frequently, every day sometimes for some people. And this routine really dives in and gets to the tissues that are in the vicinity, but also in the areas of the lats, the QL, and then a little bit in the neck and shoulders as well. If something doesn't feel quite right, feel free to pause, skip it, and of course, reach out to me if you have any questions and ways to modify. I'll offer a few modifications along the way today. Okay, let's get started. Take a seat, and if you would like some elevation by sitting on a pillow, feel free to do so. Whatever position your legs are crossed, I want you just to switch it right out of the gate. Switch from what is natural and happens automatically to the opposite. Taking a moment to set your upper body posture so that when we are going through all of the fascia work today, that we're coming from the place that we aim to be. What that would look like would be a small chin towards the throat tuck with a little lift in the back of the neck. Shoulder blades not only gliding down the back, but slightly rotating. I call this retracting the shoulders. And it's a continuity of alignment between the ears and the shoulders. And then the third part is the rib cage. So the ribs, we want them to be free and we want them to move. But when we're coming from a neutral position with our posture, we don't want them to be over lifted where they're popping forward or sunken down. Ideally, the ribs would be settled and situated and stacked above your pelvis so that at the bottom of your sternum, the xiphoid process is stacked in line with your pubic bone like this. So those 3 points come in handy. Ears in line with the shoulders and the sides of the ribs and the pelvis. Excellent. Take your hands to your knees. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. One more time in, finding groundedness through your body and out. Adding some resistance by pressing the hands into your knees, contracting muscles in your upper body. Next, take your belly button and start to pull it straight back through your body. And then as you're doing this, let the head round forward. As you're here, imagine that you're engaging your core and actively trying to create more of a C-shaped curve with your spine, all the while pressing your hands into your knees. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to bring your sternum back forward, rounding through your pelvis, lifting your sternum up and through the shoulders, almost exaggerating a little bit of an extension through the back here, if your back is comfortable with this. Keep pressing your hands into the knees. Belly pulls back, drawing it away from your hands. Head will come down to finish your C-shaped curve. Actively engage your abdominals. Keep engaging arms and abdominals as you pull back opposite directions. Sternum pulls through, keeping that neck in neutral alignment. Hands press in, pull back. Now start to think about your upper back. Where do you feel tight? Where do you feel tension? Try to reach into that space by contracting the muscles gently in that area. Good. Let's do one more. Hands press into the knees. Belly pulls back, rounding the spine and lowering the chin towards your chest. Keep pressing hands into the knees and start to roll it forward. Sternum coming through, keeping neck in neutral. Excellent. Taking your right hand to your left knee and your left hand to your side. Pressing your hand directly into your knee, now focusing upper back in and around the shoulder area, pulling your body back in the opposite direction. Your leg is stable. It's almost pushing down towards the floor. Create that roundedness through the spine. Good. And then bringing yourself back up. 2 more times. Press the hand into the knee. Slowly start to pull the back, especially in the opposite direction and slightly back. And pull it back through and forward. 1 more time. Hand presses in, contracting the arm that's crossed, pulling it back. Pelvis is neutral, looking down. Good. Keep your body here and look over your left shoulder. Back to center and back lifted through the spine. Moving to the other side, taking left hand to the knee, pressing in, pulling the upper back away from the knee in the opposite direction. Head is just looking down, feeling and gathering the muscles, contracting them as you're holding it for a moment. Bringing the chest forward and through, reset, hand presses in, keep pushing it in. Slowly pulling back. It's almost as if your shoulder blade is opening up or moving across the rib cage as you're pulling back, but you're contracting the muscles still. Engage as you pull back up, trying to get some motion in the opposite direction. Last one, hand presses into the knee, keeping the knee in place as a foundation. Pulling the upper back away. Exploring some movement, looking over your shoulder. Holding that for a second, coming back down and back up and through. Good. Switching sides, other hand to the knee again. We're going to add some reaches here. Hand presses into the knee and start to pull your upper back and spine away. Now feel the activation in and around that right scapular area. You're going to let go of your hand and reach it up to the sky. Opposite arm is pressing firmly down into the ground. Feel the openness and open up that hand slightly behind you so you're contracting the back muscles to bring that arm back, opening up the front of the body. Breathe into the rib cage and out. Take that arm that's up, reach it across in the opposite direction. Looking down gently at the floor to keep the neck in neutral, and then let that arm release, come back to center. Good job. Taking your left hand across to the hand, to the knee, pressing in, take that first pull back, opposite direction. Head comes down. Good. You're going to let go of that hand and reach the arm up to the sky, creating space for where you just contracted. Opposite arm is plugging down into the ground, breathing, opening up that rib cage, feeling the arm pull back behind you slightly to contract the muscles in your upper back. Head is in neutral. If it doesn't feel good to look up at the hand, you can look wherever it feels good. Take that arm that's up, reach it across opposite direction. Keeping the pelvis stable, plug that shoulder blade back in if it reached away from you. Good. And then slow to bring it back down. Good. Taking your right arm up and over, kind of like a high five forward. Opposite hand is going to reach up and grab to the outside of the pinky edge of your hand. Now we're going to add a little resistance through that whole side of the body on the right. First, bring that right elbow back about an inch. Next, you're going to resist that right elbow back, but contract those side lateral muscles in your body. Using the other hand, you're going to slowly come up and over. You're reaching your lats here on the right side into the lower back slightly as well. Once you're over into the front on the diagonal, start to bring your right armpit towards the floor. You're still resisting up this way the entire time. Let your ribs move. This is where I want movement. Let them rotate. Good. Hold that for a second. And then bring yourself back forward to face front. and back up to center. Let those arms release, come down, move them around. Good. And left arm's going to go up and over, high five. Opposite hand grabs pinky edge of the hand. Bringing that left elbow back about an inch, resisting down and all through that lateral aspect of the left side. Keep resisting gently. We're moving slow here, so you can take the time to notice what you're feeling in your body and start to contract into areas that you need it. Once you're forward and on the diagonal, start to take that left armpit and you're going to bring it down as if you're going to look straight at the floor. Holding that for a second, you're still resisting up and away and back with that left arm. Keep that left hip down and plugged into the ground to get elongation. Take an inhale and exhale back to center. Arms open to the side to release. Shoulders lift up and back and down for 3 and 2. One more time. And 1. Good. We're making our way down to the floor. We're going to do a little shimmy to wake up and stimulate the whole upper back on one side. If you'd like a pillow, grab one now, laying down on your back. All right. So once you're here, we're going to focus on the left side first. You can either extend your left leg straight or keep it bent once you get into the motion. First, what you're going to do is bend your right knee, take your left arm up like a cactus and just kind of let it sit down next to you, open like this. You're going to tilt your right hip up, and you're just going to use that right foot to kind of give you a little shimmy along the floor. So I'm feeling connection of the left side upper back into the floor. Think of using this as a way to kind of get blood flow, fluid flow through that upper left quadrant of your back. A few more seconds up and down. If this feels awkward, that's okay. It gets a little easier as you do it. And usually one side feels weird and one side feels like, oh, I kind of got it. A little coordination here. You can move around a little bit, just playing with some different variations, bringing your chest down more or up more, bending your bottom leg if that's more comfortable for you. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Moving on to the other side, same thing. Bringing your left knee to bend, foot on the floor, right arm opens up like a cactus. Tilting to the right, either lift your pelvis up or keep it down. I'm lifting mine up right now because I have a mic on this side. And you are just shimmying along the floor. Shimmy, shimmy. So you have all these different densities of fascia. Sometimes people call them layers, sometimes people don't. But you're working the superficial fascia here and slightly into the deep muscle. We're just getting all this energy flow in this area. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Rolling to your side. Making your way back up to sit. And just take a moment to notice what that feels like in your body. Quieting the mind for a second and just sensing anything, any sensation that you have. All right. Now, since we're working the upper back, as we get into more detailed and focused work, let's warm up the opposite side of the body first, the chest. Bending your knees, keeping your feet flat, taking your hands behind you, fingertips facing your tush, and you're going to bend your elbows and let your body sink into your arms. Hands resist by pushing forward as if they're going to slide forward. Sternum starts to pull through like someone's grabbing your sternum and gently tugging you up on the diagonal. Once you're at the top, take an extra moment to retract your shoulders. Your neck is still in neutral, so you don't want it to be looking way up high or down low, kind of up and on the diagonal slightly. You're still resisting your hands forward even though you're holding this for a moment. Checking in that both arms are working about the same, and then relax. Let your body sink back. Holding your body weight with your hands, press them forward. Sternum pulls up. Thinking about contracting your chest muscles. You can have this work more for you when you focus on contracting where you're working. Now I notice on my left side it doesn't fire quite as quickly, as clearly as the right, so I'm going to wait a moment until it does and relax to bring it through. This time as you're coming forward, bring your body slightly up and to the right. And once you're up, find those shoulders retracted, both sides. Notice a slight difference in this direction. Soften to come back down. Hands press forward, bringing your sternum through and slightly to the left. Neck is in neutral. Feel that right hand really plugging into the ground. Retract that right shoulder if it's not, if it wants to stay forward. Back down through center. Coming center again, forward, sternum pulls through. Feel all 10 fingertips. Retract the shoulders. Hold this position, but don't stop contracting. Inhale and exhale firmly through the nose. Inhale. Feel the ribs move. Exhale. Hands are still pressing forward. Inhale. Open up the ribs. Create space for the breath to come in. Exhale. Push the breath out. Last one in and out. Soften to come down. All right, take a seat. Good job. All right, we are moving into a bridge at the wall. So with this one, you are going to scoot your hips nice and close to the wall and bring your feet up onto the wall. If you do not have a wall, that's okay. You can bring your feet up onto any other surface, or you could just do a bridge pose with this one with your feet on the floor and knees bent. All right, so you're scooting your hips close to the wall. Arms are down at your side with a slight retraction. Take a look at your legs, making sure the feet are about the same height and the toes are facing straight up, not turned out too much. All right. Now from here, you're going to slowly press your hips up to the sky. If this does not feel good in your neck, feel free to just do a regular bridge pose on the floor. All right, so a couple things we're going to do here. First, take a moment to press your arms firmly down into the ground and feel all 10 fingertips. Press your feet into the wall and very slowly start to lower your upper back down. You're not going all the way down. You're going down to the bottom part of your rib cage, not through the lower back. Taking a pause if you feel really a lot of tension in one area of your thoracic spine. Taking breaths into it, keep contracting, arms down, feet into the wall. Slowly pressing back up, reset, re-engage, arms down, feet into the wall. Slowly coming down, noticing the similarities or differences in what you're feeling in your rib cage on both sides, right side, left side. Good. Back up again. You can scoot your hands closer to the wall or scoot your shoulders to the wall a little bit more. Press more firmly into your feet now. Good. If this is too intense, ease off of it. Do less resistance. Make it feel good for you. And back up. We have one more center like this. Go slow. Opening up those shoulders. Don't let those shoulders pop up. Feet pressing into the wall evenly. Down to the bottom of the rib cage. Good. Back up again. All right. Now from here, we're going to do a little something different. You're going to take your right hip and you're going to dip it down like this. Okay? So you kind of release your right butt cheek here. Now, as you go down, your focus is in the right upper back. Your left foot is plugging in firmly, and your right arm, left arm are still evenly pushing down into the floor. Good, about halfway. Back up again. We have two more. Start center, drop that right hip. Keep contracting muscles. Breathing in and out of the ribs through the nose. Good, working out any spots. You can bounce it out a little bit, make some little adjustments. One more time, back up. You might feel in your left leg working here. It is. You're getting a hamstring and glute strengthening exercise. Right rib cage slowly comes down. You might notice one rib in particular that isn't as bouncy and elasticy as you'd like it to be. You can stay contracted and work that a little bit. Back up. All right, we're moving to the other side. Dip that left hip down. Start to lower down, focusing left upper back. One vertebrae at a time, one rib at a time. Now notice right here, do you feel less contact or pressure into the floor with the ribs? Right? This can signify a rotation of the rib cage if you feel more intense movement of the ribs or less. You're lowering that left side down. Keep that left shoulder retracted, firm in that right leg. Going down, 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 bouncing if you feel any little stuck ribby there, as long as you're contracting. Back up. Let's do one more on that left side. Left hip dips and left upper back slowly smooshing into the ground as you lower down. This time, bring yourself, when you're almost center or almost down, back to center and rest your hips on the ground for a second. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Really feel the ribs lift to the sky in that inhale, and exhale. Contract through the ribs to push the breath out. Setting up for one more variation here. Pressing those feet into the wall, hips to the sky, arms plugged into the floor. All right. Once you're here, we're going to shimmy again. So you're going to basically shimmy your hips side to side, kind of inching through the tissue in your upper back as you're lowering the hips down to the ground. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Pause if you need to stay in one place for a moment. Getting down again to the bottom of the rib cage. And then pressing through the feet and arms to press up. We have two more of those. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. You might feel a catch of breath here. Feeling any tension start to melt away. Feeling more mobility present in the ribs. Last time, press those hips up. Those hammies are working. Plug those arms down and let those hips move. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Good. I'm going to stay here for a moment for a few. Working out a couple tight ribs. And then lower it down. Carefully walk your feet down, rolling to your side to come up. Whew. All right, take a moment here. Maybe move those shoulders around a little bit, doing a couple alternating shoulder rolls. Might feel some openness already start to be present in the upper body, right? Good. Okay. We're going to dive a little bit deeper here. So let's grab, if you have those blocks, you can grab those now. We're going to create a little platform for our elbows. So what that will look like is I'm going to take both of my blocks like this and together, and I'm going to use the mat for a little cushion, right? That kind of just feels a little bit better than just hard cork blocks. If yours are foam, it might not be so tough, but all right. So from here, you creating a little foundation or platform, knees apart and feet together, and you're coming down to your forearms. Let's first do a karate chop with the hands, and you're going to press down and back. So you're feeling the lats contract in and around the armpits, the chest potentially, rear delts, and start to pull the hips back towards your heels. We're going to take this first one to kind of warm up, and then we'll get into the more specifics. Relax as you come forward. Okay, start forward a little bit more, so you're shortening the tissue even more to begin. Plug those forearms down and back. Contract in the space between your shoulder blades. Lift your rib cage up to the ceiling a little bit more. Keep that and take a very slow pullback, so you have that time to concentrate on what you're feeling in your upper back. Good. Relax as you come forward. Activate, hold it for a moment just to gather where you need the tissue to change. Breathing in and out through the nose, pulling it back. Good. One more like this. Nice and slow. Chin tuck. Forearms pressing down and back. Feeling the muscles contracting under the scapula or shoulder blade, in and around the lats. And relax to come forward. Okay, now you're bringing your elbows onto the mat. Your hands can be together in prayer if that feels comfortable, and you can open up the elbows a little wider. You have a lot of options to position yourself to what feels good for you. I like to do prayer and give my hands a little extra push here. All right, if you are getting ready, lift the belly and the ribs up. Both elbows push back. feeling the muscles, maybe even the triceps, the back of the arms. And you're starting to pull your hips back. Once you're back, you're going to take a moment to look down, kind of at your toes, your belly button through the legs, keeping your nice long neck, chin tuck, look forward. Keep it here, look over the right shoulder. Lift those ribs if they dropped, mine did, and look over the left. Back up to center and forward. Okay, here we go again. Elbows plug down and back. Hips pull back, ribs are lifted. Feeling the elongation along the sides of your upper body. And relax to come forward. Kick it back. Breathing in. Now feel the tops of the feet connecting to the floor, making a full global connection of movement. And back up. And resist it back. Keep resisting. Hands come up. Now staying here. Good. Up about an inch, and then you're going to bring your hips to the right. Up about an inch, bring your hips to the left. And then keep going back and forth, right to left. You're still plugging the elbows down and back as if they want to slide underneath you. If you are going about your day and you're feeling that upper back tightness starting to settle in, you can do this at a countertop by just bringing your arms and elbows up and creating some activation and movement pulling back. Good. One more time. Good. And relax to come forward. Good. Shake those arms out for a moment. Good. Okay, we're going to do that one more time with just a small variation. Bringing yourself down onto your forearms this time again. You're just going to angle your arms to the right about an inch. Not a huge difference, but just a slight variation of direction. Plug those elbows down and back. Hips are going to pull back into the left. You're really elongating that left side. And then at the end, just roll that left shoulder down and look over to the right. Let's do a couple more of those. Come forward and over to the right to begin. Forearms pressed down and back. Feeling a little bit extra activation, elongation on that left side body. Dip that left shoulder down. Look to the right. Relax to come forward. Keep activating. Feel that connection. Whole left side. Breathing through the rib cage. Dip that shoulder down. Good. Maybe a little bit extra rotation if you have it. And back up. We have one more. Plug those forearms down. Slow to pull back and to the left. Roll that left shoulder down. Finding movement through the ribs. Excellent. Bringing your hands over to the left. Good. Check in that everything is situated. Ribs lift up. Plug those forearms down into the right. Hips are going to pull back into the right. And about halfway or towards the end, dip that right shoulder down and look over to the left or up slightly. And back forward. Resist. Pull back. Good. And find some rotation and movement. And looking up over the shoulder. Two more. Coming forward, make any adjustments. Find your resistance. Really feel that karate chop, that pinky stays down through here. Good. And look. Excellent. One more time, plug it back. Maybe go even a little bit more to the right with your hips, getting a slightly different direction. Find that dipping of that right shoulder and looking over the left shoulder or up. Good. And back to center. Excellent job. Okay, you can set those blocks aside for now. We're going to come back to them in a moment. Good. All right, so we're going to work the reach through. And now with a reach through, there's a lot of different areas you have the opportunity to balance or to work on or to focus on. Because we're doing the upper back, we're going to focus on what I call the swivel. So we're going to use the form and placement of our reach through, and we're going to be swiveling and focusing on the movement of the upper body, a little similar to the one that we just did. So taking a moment to come back down, hands and knees. Feel free to give those knees cushions if they're feeling a little tired being on the floor. Take your left hand and plant it. Right hand is going to come underneath and swoop under, palm up. So I like to start lifted so that we're contracting and through our drop down to the floor. So you're getting a little extra goodness rather than just starting down the floor. Press the back of the right hand firmly into the ground and start to lengthen your body away from the hand. It stays where it is though. Lowering that right hand to the floor so you're all the way down the shoulder and the head. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you don't actually need to touch the floor. You can stay up a little bit and do the same thing. Once you're here, plug that whole right arm down. Really feel it from the shoulder through the arm to the back of the hand. Now we're going to use this left hand, pushing it into the ground, and you're swiveling your upper body and sternum as if you want to take a look up at the ceiling. If you're able to move your head, great. If not, go to where you feel comfortable. Go to where your body has availability today. So you're staying here and down on the ground. Let yourself come back forward to release. Reset the contraction of that right arm into the ground and back into your swivel. And just noticing if this feels hard to execute with the rib cage on this side so that we can compare it to the next side. Breathing through the rib cage. Lift that left rib cage. The left ribs want to stay down. Give them a little lift and hug up, helping to create that swivel. Let's do 2 more. Pressing through the hand, slowly swiveling. Plug that right arm down. Maybe you're finding a little bit more space here now. Good. Last one. Reset, swivel. Good. Feel that connection. Breath. Can be hard to breathe here sometimes. And then slow to come down. Press through the left hand to bring yourself back up to center. Hoo hoo hoo. Take a moment to let your body adjust to that. Oh, good. A lot can happen. Our diaphragm is very much in the vicinity of that upper back work. So sometimes if you notice it's hard to breathe, that could be good information for you to have. Moving to the other side, knees apart, feet together. Okay, take that left hand through, palm up. Press the back of the hand firmly into the ground. Make sure you feel a contraction in that left arm. Take your roll down. Take it slow. Feel it. The hand stays where it is, but you're elongating away from it, bringing the shoulder and head to the floor if you're able, or staying slightly off the ground if you would prefer to stay there. Once you're down, reactivate the whole arm from the shoulder to the hand directly into the floor. That's your muscle contraction here. Press through the right hand to create your swivel to look up at the sky. Take your first observation, how this side feels in comparison to the first side. Do you need to make any modifications of your body placement? Good. Let yourself relax forward. Reset, contract, swivel. Breath through the nose. And soften to come down. Reset and swivel. Lift that right rib cage if it's falling forward. And back down. 2 more. Feel all the things. If you're feeling too much intensity, ease off how much muscle contraction you're using. You can control how much you use. So if it's too intense, just lay off it a little bit. Just chill. Less resistance, less movement. Relax to come back down. Good. Press through that hand and slowly come back to center and take a seat. Ho, ho, ho. Oh my. Let's just take a second to regroup and to breathe for a moment. Hands resting down. Change your leg cross if you haven't already. And take a moment to breathe in and out through your nose. As you're breathing, I want you to feel the breath moving into your upper back. Feel the ribs create space and movement. For the breath to come in and exhale. Shoulders rest in their home. Find that posture we started with. And breathe new air into your body. Exhale. What we want is space in our ribs so that we can take these beautiful full breaths in. And really that exhale is just as important. We think so much of that inhale, but let all that breath come out. Exhale through the nose. Feel the ribs gather below. All right. Moving on back to the blocks. We're going to be doing a cactus arm with elevation. If you do not have blocks, you can certainly just do this on the floor. Either way is fine. Taking those blocks, I like to lengthen them like that for my arm. And if the blocks weren't here, you would just be on the floor. So you'll take yourself down to the hands and knees, and we're really reaching in to the tissues underneath the scapula here. You'll take your left hand first, and you're going to place it on the blocks. They can start in the center, and as you feel like you want to get deeper into the tissue, you move them further out to the side. I'm starting a little bit off center to begin. Okay, so you're taking your elbow to the back of your hand into the blocks here. Other hand is just to the outside to help with maneuvering your body. Resist this left arm as if it's going to move to the left, the whole arm, but really feel that elbow. Try to keep the hands on the surface. If you're able to, they might want to pop up. If they do, that's okay. And you're going to take a dip to the left. So focusing not only on the ribs moving, but the shoulder going straight to the side. And you're going to take a little look to the right if that feels natural to you. So with the elevation, it allows you to dip your shoulder below the surface. Relax to come back up. All right. Feel that resistance. Gather up where you need it. And slowly start to dip down, trying to reach these tissues that are deep, deep, deep. Good. Letting your body sink down if you're able to. Relax to come back up. Start again. Find your elbow a little bit more firmly into the ground. Relax to come back up. Take that same movement, but pull it back a little bit now. So you're bringing your body to the side, but also back and dipping. Relax to come back up. Feel free to bring your hand on top of your other hand if that feels comfortable too, as an anchor. A lot of variations. I find that everyone's shoulder mobility is different, and so how they do their setup can be slightly different from each other too. One more time, dip down to the left and pull back. Elongating, looking to the right. Back up. Now, same idea, resisting to the left, but now take your shoulder head, and I want you to go in front of or above your elbow. So you're going forward and down. Good. Resist and go forward and dip, look to the right. One more time. And dip and look. Come back up. Take a moment. Move that arm around a little bit. And then we're going to go into half circles. So you're keeping that same idea, but this time we're going to start with the resistance going to the left, bringing yourself back into the left first. And once you're about parallel with your arm, you're going to then move your shoulder back up and move it back down, creating half circles. Good. Keep resisting gently, twisting more, rotating more to change where you're reaching. Last one. Excellent. And release. Okay. Good work. Move those blocks over if you have them. We're moving to the other side. Taking your right elbow to forearm to back of the hand into the blocks. Other hand to the side or on top. Resist that right arm to the right. Take the first few, dipping the right shoulder straight to the side and looking over the shoulder to the left. Back up again. Add your resistance. Finding the dip and the look. Good. And again, one more time, straight to the side. Excellent. Okay, we have 3, pulling back on the diagonal, down and back, dip it down. Good. Try to go half an inch more if you have it accessible to you. And again, good. Find that movement. You can create little micro movements if they feel good to you too. Last one, pulling back. Keep the back of the hand down if you're able and pull it back. Good. Reset. Change your hand placement if you like. I'm going to bring that hand up. Resist the right arm to the right, and then bring the shoulder forward and down. Soften and come back up. Tuning into what you're feeling. What does your body need? Where are you contracting? Whew. Last one. Shoulder comes slightly forward and dip. Okay, come back to center. Relax that right arm for a moment. We're going to do our half moons. And then we're going to try something new after this one. All right. Good. Okay, let's come back down. Right forearm down. You're going to start first resisting to the right. Hips pull back into the right. Half circle forward to the top of the mat. And back down. 2 more. Good. Elbows still connected. 1 more time. Excellent job. And release. Okay. Blocks to the side. Take a seat. You are doing awesome. All right. So we are moving into another upper back one, focusing on one side at a time. Take your left hand up and place it behind your head. Kind of like you'd be doing a crunch here, that kind of hand flat to the back of the head here. Okay, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to reach it around to grab the outside of the elbow like this. All right? So this arm, the left one, is resisting back. So the left elbow is resisting back. So you're contracting the left shoulder area in the back and the whole upper back region. Now let the other arm win. Start to bring your elbow across, and then your body's going to join right along with. So you're resisting the elbow away from you, and you're bringing yourself down into the right on the diagonal. Once you're here, pause. Take your right hand to the ground. Now contract your left pecs and keep your body where it is, but open your elbow out to the side nice and wide. Reach your arm up to the sky. Open up that side like we did in the beginning, and then bring it back down to center yourself. Okay, we're going to go through that again, but we're going to alternate. Other hand comes up, right? Right hand behind the head. Left hand reaches around to grab the elbow. Elbow resists to the right, contracting the right shoulder, right upper back. First, start to move the elbow towards the face, and then right away, let that body follow with. Keep your pelvis neutral as you can. Try to keep that opposite hip down. You're going down on the diagonal to the left. Once you feel like you're at the end point, take that left hand down to the ground, pause. Contract the right pecs. Keep contracting the right pecs as you peel that elbow up to the sky. Your head is still looking down as much as you can, but of course, look at the screen if you need to see me. Reach that right arm up to the sky as high as you can, opening up that whole left side body. Keep retracting that arm back to get those back muscles activated. And then bring yourself back up to center and down. Beautiful. Other side. Left hand back. Reach around and grab the outside of the elbow. Now here, ribs are stacked. Find that stacked postural position we talked about. Resisting, left elbow to the left. Find the left upper quadrant contracting. Guide the elbow in. And then slowly start to rotate down into the right. Once you're at your end point, right hand comes down to the ground firmly. Contract the left pecs. Keep your body where it is. Just the elbow peels up and away. Opening up. Feel the back, upper back contract. Reach that arm up to the sky. Open the rib cage. Bring the arm slightly back. And then let that arm come back down. Excellent job. One more time. Taking right hand back behind your head. Left comes around to grab. Ribs are stacked. Elbow pushes back. Good. All these different pieces come together to really get an efficient activation. Elbow comes in, body starts to move. You're still resisting right elbow to the right. Let the ribs move, let the body move. Stay here for a moment. Take your left hand down, firm it into the ground, contract your right pecs, elbow peels up. Feel the pecs still contracting, reach that arm to the sky. Open up the side body. Bring the arm back ever so slightly. Breathe. And exhale back to center. Good. Take your hands to your knees. Press your hands straight back, pulling your body back and away from the hands and the knees, rounding the upper back and spine, but really pull the lower belly in too. Feel the whole back opening like a C. Hands still press into the knees, slowly coming forward, bringing the sternum through. Good. Hands press, pull back. Find that roundness. Let the head fall forward. Hands press into the knees. Pull through. Shoulders retract. Good. Right hand to the right knee. Opposite hand to the floor. Take that pull back. Just comparing and feeling the differences you might feel from when you started. Head comes down, looking at the belly. Keep pressing the hand into the knee. Come forward with the chest. One more time on this side. Hand presses down in the knee. Body pulls away. Head down. And back through. Feeling movement, feeling breath flow the entire time. Switching sides. Left hand to the knee. Other hand firmly on the ground. Pulling back and away. Head comes down. Press into the knee with the hand, pull forward and through. Good, excellent. One more time. Hand presses into the knee, pull back. Head releases, finding that full expression of your C. And hand presses in the knee, sternum up. Back to center. Hands resting at your thighs. Inhale and exhale through the nose. In. Breathing breath into the ribs, expanding the ribs into new spaces. Exhale through the nose, feeling the air fully leaving the body. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Feel it in the upper back. And exhale through the nose. Find that first posture we had at the beginning of class. Slight chin tuck with a little J. Hook. Shoulders retracted, ribs stacked. Excellent job today. I hope your upper back feels more freedom for you today and days beyond.